Like many others, my first introduction to South Korea came through screens like BTS songs blasting through my headphones and my Apple Music, and going to Korea for a concert, and of course trying to see them, and that came as a surprise. And then late night watching K dramas, and then having the thought of going and seeing the locations of my favorite K dramas. Finally making it to Suwon to see the My Beloved Summer location and Lovely Runner locations. Trying TikTok famous street food in Myeongdong and Hongdae, and of course eating ramen from convenience stores. For a long time, my Choi-ae was exactly that: music, drama, food, a culture I admired from afar. But when I finally visited South Korea, I was unprepared for the emotional impact it would have on me. It wasn't just about seeing places I admired, it was about the people who made those places unforgettable. Each encounter was small, but it left a mark. And South Korea didn't just show me sights, it reminded me of the beauty of being seen, welcomed, and cared for. I came looking for a culture, but I found connections, I found compassion, and I found community. So, in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to just take you through those interactions. These people didn't know me, but somehow they made me feel like I was just not visiting, I was coming home. It made me rethink what really matters when we travel. Not the perfect photo, not the souvenirs, but it's always the people. He was so welcoming. He allowed me to come and still eat even though I was just alone. I mean, coming to Seoul and not eating barbecue is sad, but it starts from two packs. So I had to really ask them if I was allowed to come in. They were really nice. The old lady actually came to me and she taught me how to do this process. So that's how I'm doing it like a pro, because she did not speak in English, but she came and she told me what or how you should place the meat and vegetables in the leaf, and you fold it and have it like. And there were two other people who were really nice. They came time to time to check on me, and like three people were just looking after me, and it was so nice. They made sure that I will eat well, and they also came and gave me an empty box and they said take the leftovers home because obviously I couldn't finish it. They made sure my first experience was really memorable. This lady in Myeongdong Street, she knew I just didn't know anything. She just placed that tissue so that I will not spill. And it was so yummy. She was so happy. And then came these grandmas when I visited Suwon to see Lovely Runner locations. And just listen to this.
거기 현재
Sanjay. She knew that I was going to see Lovely Runner locations, and they were so cute. On my way back, they were still there having a chat, and they were just adorable. And then I was so tired, I came across this cafe. It was so cute, and this owner was the sweetest possible owner you could ever come across. She knew I was so tired, and she was so welcoming, and she told me like what to do in Suwon, and next time she told me like make sure that I stay a night. She was the sweetest person I could have ever met, and that strawberry latte was so delicious. This taxi driver was so sweet. He saw the location and he was like, Jimin's dad's cafe? I said, yes, the cafe. And he switched off the navigation and he took like shortcuts, and he just made sure that I will be there by 10 o'clock. And I was so lucky to have met Jimin's dad. That's one of the most biggest highlights of this tour. He was such a human being. He was so sweet. He walked to me and thanked me for coming. I mean, who does that? And he was so humble. And then Mujin, well, he was man of the hour. Like, I think I learned my life lesson when I met him. Like, he After reaching all these achievements in his life, in his career, the humbleness that he carries within himself is just unimaginable. It's actually a life lesson, and he was the sweetest possible person. He was so caring. He stayed with me until I left that salon. From the time I walked in, he was just there, and he made sure that I will be happy with whatever he was doing. And he was the sweetest person ever. And then I met Daniel, who was already a favorite person of mine, and he just did not disappoint me. He's quite famous in his profession right now, and he was just so humble, again so caring, was always just asking me what I wanted, how I wanted things to be done. And his colleague and him, we had a really great morning. Actually, they were trying to know what I was doing there, and what sort of culture differences I'm facing, and whether or not I knew the language, and how is the experience so far. So we had quite a bit of chat, and they were so nice and yet again so humble, and just touched my heart. And once I was just coming home late night, past midnight, and I was trying to find to eat something apart from a convenience store, and then I came across this sweet shop which was, they were closing, and the owner was saying, no, 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 come and buy some chicken. So he was so nice. I got some chicken and went to a convenience store, got my banana milk and the choco pie. Thanks to his recommendation, I had a good meal that night. And next I met Choi, who is such a great choreographer, and he was so humble. And at that point, I did not know who these three guys were. And later on, when I got to know, I was so shocked because I did not know they were famous themselves. And they were so encouraging, so humble, and they were ready to teach everyone one by one if they had to. Again, so generous. This picture was taken by a gentleman who came there with his daughter or niece, but they saw that I was alone to see the sunset at Namsan, and he was so sweet. Before he left, he tapped on my back and he was like, camera, because he did not speak in English, and he took this picture for me, and that was so wonderful. And I was so stunned to see all this and experience all this. And this was at Myeongdong. These two ladies, they had this cute bag shop, and they did not speak in English much. So she had a translator, and she was talking to me through the translator. And she was so sweet. She was going through one by one the bags, and she was telling me the difference between the bags. And I just wanted a backpack for like 4 days. And she was like, okay, then don't spend much. Like, you can just buy a cheap one if it's just for a couple of days. And she was so sweet, and I cannot believe these experiences that I had with all these people. So when I say my Choi is the people of South Korea, I mean it with every part of my heart. They reminded me that even in the fast digital world, human warmth still matters. That language isn't a barrier when intention is clear. The strangers can become sole reminders that kindness travels far. I honestly didn't expect South Korea to give me this, but I'm grateful beyond words. To every person who smiled at me, helped me, laughed with me, or just stood beside me on this journey, thank you. You are my joy. You made me fall in love with your country in a way I didn't even know was possible. And to anyone watching this, if you ever get a chance to visit Korea, let your heart stay open, because yes, the country is beautiful, but its people, they're extraordinary.